So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear? Hashtag sexy. He's here.
It's Friday, August the 21st, 2015, and this is your Barbados Today morning news update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. We begin with news that the island's police chief is blaming officials at the ports of entry for assisting in the smuggling of illegal guns into Barbados. Acting Commissioner Tyrone Griffith told a news conference yesterday that this is based on crime intelligence, which also reveals that some of the firearms are not being detected by the border security either. In fact, the police chief was at pains to point out that the guns were coming in so fast that their efforts to clear them off the streets were like spinning top in mud.
What is also clear is that weapons are not lawfully manufactured in Barbados and that the wider region, and so they are being smuggled into the island. Our intelligence suggests that they are coming through legitimate ports of entry. They are either assisted by officials or not detected by them at our borders. This is an untenable situation which has to be addressed if we are to stem the inflow of these weapons. Even though we are taking weapons off the streets, the inflow is such that the volume on the island remains large. So far, for the year, we have recovered some 33 firearms as opposed to 29 for the previous year.
The police commissioner says a major part of the solution to stemming the influx of guns and their growing availability is for greater cooperation from border security officials and the general public.
We need to have greater cooperation and collaboration at our ports of entry. Border security officers must all be seen from the same sheet. Residents in challenged communities need to be more supportive of law enforcement and provide information which can lead to the recovery of these firearms. They are generally bluntly refusing to do so, and only when a family member becomes a victim that they are prepared to cooperate. A worrying trend is that many of these young men engage in feuds, and when they are shot, they refuse to cooperate with the police, and instead set about taking their own revenge. This approach is totally unacceptable.
The first round of talks between the Sanitation Service Authority and the National Union of Public Workers over the non-payment to employees who went on strike last month has ended without a solution. When both sides met yesterday morning, the SSA management provided information to support their claim that the employees involved did not work. No date has been set for the next round of negotiations, but NUPW Acting General Secretary Roslyn Smith told Barbados Today the union would prepare its counter findings to show the employees reported for duty but could not work due to certain conditions. Smith said the union should be ready to submit its findings to the SSA board by month end and would determine its next step after the two sides discussed the findings. And 6-year-old Jahan King, who died of unnatural causes almost 2 months ago, was finally laid to rest yesterday in the St. Leonard's Church Cemetery before a large crowd, which did not include his father, John King. The father, for whom the funeral was delayed because he was behind bars in a Canadian jail and was expected to be released earlier this week, was not present to say goodbye to the boy he referred to as his super handsome son. King's foster mother, Ina Brown, who made the funeral plans along with the boy's mother, LaSonta Gill, said she had not heard from him, but the funeral had to go on, and it did so smoothly and peacefully. And there was standing room only yesterday as family members, friends, and Combamarians past and present turned up at St. George Parish Church to bid farewell to the late Doreen Pyle, Combamary's lone female principal in its over 300 years of existence. Pyle, who was educated at Queen's College, was described by her husband, Colvin Pyle, in his eulogy as a principal who sought at all times to protect the interests of the school.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since got to understand, yeah. My Barbados, my banks. Ain't nothing like a cool bank spare. None of them others just can't compare. You just got to love that taste. It's the world-class thing this land makes. Whether I'm cruising or at a bar, whether I'm at home, my bank spare is never far. For this blessing, got to give God thanks. My Barbados, my banks.
Now to the big story from the region. The Children's Authority of Trinidad and Tobago is revealing a startling number of child abuse cases for the first 3 months of this year. The authority says it has received over 1,300 reports during that period. It says this means it has received more reports in 3 months than any other state agency would have recorded for all of last year. But what is of deep concern is that physical abuse is the second highest type of abuse reported, with about 300 cases in 3 months. In more regional news, Guyana is pushing for a regional strategy in addressing the recent increase in tuition fees by the Hugh Wooden Law School in Trinidad. Minister of State Joseph Harmon wants the hike in fees to be put on hold, and the government has been contacted the various prime ministers with a view to adopting a collective approach.
We are in receipt of a letter from the Prime Minister of Dominica, and we have been in touch with several other ministers, several other prime ministers in CARICOM, asking that a common approach be taken to the Hugh Wooden Law School and to the board of the Council of Legal Education, asking that that increase at least be put on hold until such time as a careful evaluation is done and students who are actually entering the institution can be given due notice of that.
On the international scene now, former U.S. President Jimmy Carter said yesterday that 4 spots of cancer had spread to his brain. The 90-year-old Carter said his fate was now in the hands of God.
President Jimmy Carter, appearing relaxed at the Carter Center in blue jeans and a blazer, announced doctors had already removed cancer from his liver nearly 3 weeks ago, which has spread to his brain.
They think they got it all there, but it has shown up now in 4 places in my brain, and it's likely to show up other places in my body as the scans detect it in the future.
Carter will undergo 4 radiation treatments over the next 3 months to treat his melanoma and has already begun taking a drug to boost his immune system. His family has a history of pancreatic cancer, which killed his father, brother, and 2 sisters. Carter described coming to terms with his diagnosis.
I just thought I had a few weeks left. But I was surprisingly at ease. I've had an exciting and adventurous and gratifying existence. Now I feel, that it's in the hands of God, whom I worship, and I'll be prepared for anything that comes.
And finally, the Speaker of the House of Parliament in Brazil is facing corruption charges. Prosecutors investigating a major corruption scandal have filed charges against the Speaker of the lower house of Congress, Eduardo Cunha. He is accused of taking $5 million in bribes to secure contracts with the state oil giant Petrobras. Cunha denies the allegations and says they are politically motivated. He is an outspoken critic of President Dilma Rousseff. And that's where we end our Barbados Today morning news update. However, you can join us again this afternoon. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper and email updates, or like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune in to Channel 101 on Lime TV and Mix 96.9 FM to get all the latest news and sports. And Emmanuel Joseph, have a fantastic day.